My friend, pause for a moment and breathe in the sacred truth that has followed you since the hour of your first heartbeat. You are not a beggar of power, you are the vessel of it. The infinite intelligence that spun galaxies into motion did not overlook you when it distributed its essence. It placed within your soul a spark of that same creative fire, and it waits. Oh yes, it waits for your recognition. For the moment you awaken to this truth, you cease to live as a servant of circumstance and rise as a conscious co-creator with God Himself. You see, man has spent centuries searching for God in temples, on mountaintops, in books, in the council of priests and prophets, and yet the eternal presence was never farther than his own breath. The Almighty hid His greatest treasure not in the heavens where few could reach it, but in the quiet chamber of the human heart. And until one learns to look inward, to listen, to feel, to commune with that presence, he wanders as a stranger in the very kingdom he was born to rule. I tell you, the first act of awakening is not to seek God, but to recognize Him within yourself. Recognition is the spark that ignites transformation. For what you recognize, you energize. What you energize, you realize. The moment you say with conviction, I am of the divine, you re-establish contact with the source of all creation. You become the channel through which the infinite expresses its wonders upon the earth. Let no man tell you that divinity belongs to a chosen few. There is no special lineage for greatness, no secret bloodline for the spirit. The beggar in the alley and the sage upon the mountain breathe the same breath of God. The difference lies only in awareness. One believes himself small and struggles through the dust of limitation. The other knows himself vast and moves with the certainty of purpose. The contrast is not of worth, but of wakefulness. It is a grave error to assume that power comes from outside, through money, position, or influence. These are but the shadows cast by a greater light. True power is internal mastery, the command of thought, the direction of emotion, the unbroken connection between mind and spirit. When this triad is harmonized, mountains of doubt crumble before your will, and what once seemed miraculous becomes your natural way of life. I have said before that thoughts are things, and indeed they are. But when your thoughts are fused with divine intelligence, they become more than things. They become living forces. Every thought charged with the awareness of God within is a seed of creation, pulsing with the same energy that said, "Let there be light." My beloved listener, imagine your mind as a sacred workshop. Each belief is a tool, each feeling a vibration, shaping the unseen substance of your world. If you allow fear and doubt to dwell there, you craft prisons of your own design. But when you invite faith, gratitude, and love, the purest reflections of the divine, you build palaces of purpose and joy. You do not earn the right to this power, you remember it. The child of God does not plead for inheritance, he awakens to it. The greatest tragedy of human life is not failure, but forgetfulness. Men fail not because they lack ability, but because they have fallen asleep to their divinity. They bow before problems that could be solved by the simple realization, the power that made me is still within me. You were not sent into this world as a frail traveler seeking help from an uncertain God. You were sent as a manifestation of that very God, an instrument through which the infinite might know itself in form. Do you wish to awaken this presence? Then begin where all transformation begins, with the mind. Sit quietly and declare to yourself with solemn authority, there is a divine presence within me now. It guides me, strengthens me, and works through me. I am one with infinite intelligence. I think its thoughts, feel its strength, and manifest its glory. Repeat this not as mere words, but as truth already established. The mind must be trained as a gardener trains the soil, by patient repetition, by faith unbroken. The moment you plant this seed of recognition, the divine begins to move through you in ways unseen. Circumstances rearrange themselves. New ideas come as gentle whispers. Strength arises where once there was fear. This is no accident. It is the law of correspondence in action. As within, so without. Do not wait for miracles, become one. For the Spirit works through those who believe enough to act. Faith without motion is a locked door. Motion guided by faith is the key that opens it. Each step taken in the consciousness of God's power magnifies that power 100-fold. You will find yourself speaking with authority, acting with calm precision, creating with joyous certainty. People will call it charisma, luck, or genius, but it is none of these. It is simply the awakened presence moving through you. Remember this immutable truth. The infinite never withholds. It only waits for you to accept. The river of divine energy flows eternally. But if the mind is closed by fear, the current cannot enter. When you open your consciousness through faith, gratitude, and vision, the river rushes in, and your life begins to mirror the majesty of its source. My friend, you are not a drop separated from the ocean. You are the ocean contained within a drop. Do not pray for power. Express it. Do not seek light. Become it. The more you embody the presence, the more you draw heaven into earth. And when you walk in that awareness, every act becomes sacred, every word creative, every heartbeat divine. In the next part of our journey, I shall reveal how to discipline the mind, so that this divine power within you becomes not a flickering flame, but a roaring fire, a conscious, directed force that shapes destiny according to your highest vision. For the power of God within man must not only be awakened, it must be governed with wisdom and purpose. But for now, let these words echo in the deepest chamber of your being. The kingdom of God is within you. Not in the clouds, not in the stars, not in the uncertain future, but here, now, beating beneath your ribs, whispering through every breath, waiting for your command to rise. Awaken, my friend. The divine presence is not coming. It has always been here. My friend, awakening to the divine presence within is the first victory, the dawning of spiritual awareness. But awakening alone is not mastery. For a flame once kindled must be tended, or it will flicker and die in the winds of habit and distraction. Power without discipline is like lightning, brilliant but brief, magnificent yet uncontrolled. To live as a conscious expression of the infinite, you must learn to govern the sacred energy that now stirs within you. Let us begin with a truth as old as creation. Spirit responds to order. The infinite does not act in chaos. It moves through harmony, law, and precision. Every planet that circles the sun, every cell that forms your body, obeys this universal rhythm. And so must your mind, if it is to become the perfect instrument of divine power. Discipline of the mind is not the repression of thought. It is the direction of thought. The undisciplined mind is like a chariot without reins, pulled by wild horses of emotion and impulse. But the disciplined mind rides with purpose. It harnesses every idea, every feeling, every word, and makes them serve a singular aim. That aim, my friend, is the conscious expression of God through you. Consider this. The same fire that warms a home can also burn it to ashes. The difference lies only in control. So too with the divine power within you. If you allow anger, fear, jealousy, or greed to dominate your thoughts, you turn sacred energy into destruction. But when your mind is ruled by faith, gratitude, and love, that same power becomes creative, healing, and unstoppable. Therefore, I say to you, train your thoughts as a master trains his servants. Let no idle, negative, or aimless idea dwell within your mental house. Each thought is a visitor. Decide which you shall entertain. Ask of every thought, does this strengthen the God within me, or does it weaken my awareness of him? If it weakens you, cast it out. For every moment you harbor fear or resentment, you close the door through which infinite intelligence seeks to flow. There is a sacred law I have tested in my own life. Whatever the mind holds in consciousness, it attracts in form. The divine power within you obeys the images you sustain. If your inner vision is clouded by doubt, you invite confusion. If your mind dwells in confidence, love, and success, you magnetize circumstances to match those vibrations. This is not mysticism. It is the mathematics of spirit. The infinite is impartial. It mirrors the pattern you provide. You may ask, but how shall I maintain discipline when the world around me is filled with noise, fear, and distraction? I answer you, by daily communion with your inner source. Set aside time each day to turn inward, away from the demands of the outer world, and enter the silent sanctuary of your mind. Speak not many words there, instead, listen. Feel the stillness behind your thoughts, the eternal calm from which all power flows. That stillness is God in motionless form. In it, you will find the clarity and strength to meet the world with poise and authority. Make your thoughts your first servants, and your emotions your second. Thought gives direction, emotion gives power. Together, they create reality. If thought and emotion pull against each other, you produce nothing but friction. If they move in harmony, they build worlds. Therefore, discipline means aligning your feelings with your chosen vision, feeling as though the thing desired is already complete. When the mind and heart unite in perfect faith, the divine within you bursts forth like sunlight, breaking through storm clouds. Obstacles dissolve, opportunities appear where there were none. And men will call you blessed, though they do not understand that your blessing came from within, not from luck or favor. Let me speak plainly, there is no true power without self-control. The man who cannot rule his own mind will never rule his world. The one who yields to every passing emotion, every whisper of doubt, is a slave though he sits upon a throne. But the one who commands his thoughts, who disciplines his reactions, who stands firm in calm faith amid turmoil, that man is a king, though he has but a humble dwelling. I remember a lesson I learned through long years of observation. Successful men, those who have awakened to their inner divinity, are men of decision. They do not waver, for indecision is the offspring of fear. They act from a center of calm conviction, knowing that infinite intelligence works through the mind that knows its own direction. Every act of decision is an affirmation of power. Every hesitation is a confession of doubt. The discipline of divine power therefore demands that you make your purpose definite, choose what you will create, what you will become, and hold that image with unwavering faith. Do not scatter your energy in half-formed wishes or conflicting desires. The infinite cannot act through confusion. It requires clarity of intention. When your mind is fixed like a laser upon a single purpose, all the forces of heaven and earth conspire to bring it to pass. But hear me now, for this is vital. Discipline does not mean rigidity. The mind that is too rigid breaks. The mind that is too lax dissolves. True mastery is balance, firm in principle, flexible in method. You must hold your purpose with unwavering faith, yet allow infinite intelligence to determine how it shall unfold. This is the paradox of divine control. You command by surrendering to the higher wisdom within you. Each morning, before the world has placed its hand upon you, take 5 minutes to affirm your unity with the Source. Say within yourself, I am guided by infinite intelligence. Every thought I think is creative. I discipline my mind to serve the divine will. I move in harmony with the laws of spirit, and all that I need flows to me by right of consciousness. Then carry that calm assurance into your day. Speak little, but speak with power. Act deliberately, with the awareness that every step is guided. When you falter, as all men do, return inward, quiet the storm, recall your center, and begin again. The path of mastery is not walked in a straight line, but in spirals, each turn bringing you closer to your highest self. Understand this, dear friend. Discipline is not bondage, it is freedom. The mind undisciplined is a prisoner of circumstance. The mind disciplined becomes a creator of circumstance. When you master yourself, nothing outside you can command you. When you control your thoughts, you control your destiny. In the stillness of your disciplined mind, the divine power within you finds perfect expression. Then, and only then, can you become the living embodiment of peace in action, wisdom in form, and love in motion. You shall no longer strive to awaken the divine presence. It will use you as its instrument, effortlessly, gloriously, continuously. In our next part, I shall lead you deeper into the sacred art of transmutation, where every limitation becomes strength, every fear becomes faith, and every shadow is transformed into light. For the discipline of divine power is but the gateway. Transmutation is its mastery. Until then, keep your mind clear, your purpose high, and your heart steadfast in the knowledge that the same power that shaped the stars now beats within your chest, awaiting only your command. My friend, now that you have awakened to the divine presence within and disciplined your mind as the sacred instrument of that presence, you stand at the threshold of a greater mystery, the mystery of transmutation. To transmute means to transform, to take one state of being and elevate it into another. It is the process by which the lower becomes the higher, the base becomes the noble, the human becomes the divine. It is the alchemy of the soul, the sacred art by which pain is converted into wisdom, fear into power, and desire into creative expression. This is not a theory for dreamers. It is the science of spiritual mastery. Every emotion you experience, every impulse that stirs within you is energy, raw, potent, and neutral until directed. The common man wastes this energy through reaction and indulgence. The awakened man transforms it into strength and creation. Let us understand this clearly. Nothing in your nature is evil, only misdirected. Anger, for instance, is power distorted. When transmuted, it becomes courage and decisive action. Desire, when ungoverned, breeds restlessness and bondage. When transmuted, it becomes ambition guided by purpose. Even sorrow, when viewed through the eyes of faith, becomes compassion and depth of character. The wise do not fight against their emotions. They elevate them. The infinite does not destroy energy. It refines it. And since you are a channel of that infinite power, you too must learn to refine the forces within yourself. Begin by observing your emotional states without judgment. When a storm of fear or anger arises, do not resist it. Instead, pause and say, "Here is life force seeking a higher form." Breathe deeply and direct that energy toward a constructive aim, toward your vision, your purpose, your prayer. In that moment, you have performed a sacred act of alchemy. Consider the artist who feels sorrow. The untrained man sinks beneath it. The artist takes that sorrow, shapes it, paints it, sings it into beauty. That is transmutation, the same emotion raised to divine expression. And you, my friend, are meant to be the artist of your own soul. Let us take the example of fear, that ancient shadow which has chained the hearts of men since the dawn of time. Fear is faith inverted. It is belief in the power of evil rather than in the power of good. When fear arises, do not curse it. Reinterpret it. Tell yourself, "This is energy reminding me to awaken. I shall convert this fear into awareness, this tension into strength." Then act with faith in the face of fear, and you shall feel its power dissolve into courage. The moment you act despite fear, you transmute it. The same energy that once bound you now propels you forward. It is as though you have harnessed lightning and turned it into light. This principle applies to every aspect of life. Desire, for instance, is one of the most powerful forces given to man. It is the soul's cry for expansion. Yet, when desire is attached to externals, to wealth, pleasure, or recognition, it enslaves. But when transmuted through purpose, it liberates. Desire becomes divine when it seeks to express, not to possess, to create, not to consume. You must learn, therefore, to raise the vibration of your desires. When you feel the pull of material longing, pause and ask, what is the higher form of this desire? If you crave wealth, seek instead the power to serve more abundantly. If you crave recognition, desire instead to shine as a light that uplifts others. If you crave love, desire first to become love. The law is infallible. What you give, you receive. What you embody, you attract. To transmute is to redirect the current of energy from self-gratification to self-expression. The man who learns this secret holds the key to miracles. He no longer fights against his humanity, but uses it as the raw material of divinity. His struggles become his teachers, his temptations his tools, his weaknesses his workshops. There is a divine economy in the universe. Nothing is wasted. Even your darkest moments contain within them the seed of awakening. Do not despise your trials. They are the furnace that purifies the gold of your soul. The heat of adversity burns away the dross of ego and fear, leaving only the essence of spirit shining through. Understand this great truth. The very energy that creates suffering also creates success, depending on its direction. The same intensity that fuels addiction can, when transmuted, fuel mastery. The same passion that leads to folly can, when purified, lead to genius. The infinite has placed within you every kind of power, but it is your consciousness that determines its expression. The process of transmutation requires three instruments: awareness, intention, and imagination. Awareness reveals the raw material, the emotion, thought, or impulse in its unrefined state. Intention gives it purpose. It decides what higher form this energy shall take. Imagination provides the pattern. It visualizes the new form clearly until the energy takes shape accordingly. Suppose you are overcome by anxiety. First, become aware of it. Feel it fully without resistance. Second, set your intention. I now transform this nervous energy into focused clarity. Third, imagine yourself calm, centered, radiant with confidence. Feel that image until it becomes real within you. In a few moments, you will sense the energy shifting. The very vibration of anxiety has been transmuted into strength. This, my friend, is how the masters live. They do not run from their emotions. They redeem them. They do not suppress their humanity. They sanctify it. In them, the divine presence finds perfect expression because every energy within them serves the light. To aid your practice, repeat this affirmation daily. Every energy within me is sacred. I direct it with wisdom and love. All fear becomes faith. All weakness becomes power. All darkness becomes light through the presence of God within me. Say it with conviction. Say it until your subconscious mind begins to obey, until the alchemy of spirit becomes second nature to you. Let me reveal to you a secret known to few. All genius is transmutation. The inventor, the poet, the leader, the saint, they all share one gift: the ability to convert inner energy into outer creation. They have learned to channel passion into purpose, emotion into art, vision into manifestation. You too possess this gift. It is the signature of your divinity. The more you practice this inner alchemy, the more radiant your life becomes. You will find that conflict dissolves because you no longer resist anything. You transform it. You will discover that you can turn every obstacle into opportunity, every defeat into preparation for victory. You will walk the earth as one who knows that nothing can truly harm him, for all things serve the unfolding of his highest good. This, beloved soul, is the destiny of man: to become a conscious transformer of energy, a living vessel through which the infinite renews creation. And when you reach this state, you will no longer ask God to change your circumstances. You will become the change itself. In the next part of our journey, I shall guide you to the summit of this teaching, the realization of divine co-creation, where you no longer merely awaken or transmute, but command the forces of creation itself through the union of faith, imagination, and purpose. For now, remember, you are not here to suppress your emotions, but to elevate them. You are not here to escape the world, but to transform it through the radiance of your awakened soul. Every breath you take is the breath of God. Every thought you think is a brushstroke upon the canvas of creation. The question is no longer whether you possess power. It is whether you will discipline it, transmute it, and direct it toward the highest good. My friend, we now approach the summit, the holy height upon which man stands not as a beggar before the divine, but as its partner. For when you awaken to the presence within, discipline the mind to serve that presence, and transmute every lower energy into higher purpose, you have fulfilled the threefold preparation. You are ready for the greatest revelation of all, that you and God create together. Co-creation is not presumption, it is participation. The infinite does not act for you, it acts through you. The Spirit seeks expression, and you are its chosen channel. The moment you think with clarity, feel with love, and act with faith, you become the living instrument of the creative mind of God. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was the expression of divine thought. Even now, creation continues through the words, images, and emotions that pour from human consciousness. Each time you imagine a vision and hold it with unwavering belief, you utter your own, "Let there be," and unseen forces begin to move. The world around you reshapes itself to mirror the pattern within you. This is not idle poetry. It is law. The same law that holds the stars in place holds your thoughts to their outcomes. Every vision you sustain is a spiritual seed, and infinite intelligence supplies the substance to make it grow. Your role is not to force the process, but to provide the pattern. Let me speak plainly. God's power in you is creative by nature. It cannot remain idle. If you do not direct it toward constructive ends, it will build according to fear, worry, and doubt. The law of creation is impartial. It brings forth what you consistently imagine and feel, whether you desire it or not. Therefore, guard your inner workshop with holy vigilance. To create consciously with the divine, you must unite three faculties: faith, imagination, and purpose. Faith is the magnetic field that draws unseen substance into form. It is not mere belief, but absolute knowing. It does not hope, it claims. Faith is the conviction that the thing desired already exists in the invisible realm and will manifest in due time. Imagination is the mold in which spirit takes shape. It gives form to the formless. Every invention, every triumph, every masterpiece was first an image in someone's mind. Imagination is the divine eye through which God sees through you. Purpose is the direction of energy. Without it, creation becomes chaos. Purpose channels the limitless power of spirit toward a definite end. It gives meaning to your vision and calls forth all resources necessary to fulfill it. When faith, imagination, and purpose unite, creation is inevitable. It cannot fail any more than the sun can cease to shine. The infinite must respond, for it is bound by its own laws. You might say, "But I have imagined many things that never came to pass." Indeed, but did you imagine them with faith, or with faint hope clouded by doubt? Did you hold them with steadfast conviction, or abandon them when appearances contradicted them? Remember, the divine does not obey your fleeting wishes. It answers your dominant vibration. Every great creator in history understood this law, whether consciously or instinctively. The inventor held his vision through years of ridicule until the invisible became visible. The leader saw his nation free, while others saw only chains. The healer imagined wholeness until the body obeyed the image. They were not magicians. They were collaborators with infinite intelligence. To practice divine co-creation, begin each day with this sacred formula. Conceive, enter silence, and ask the divine within, "What would you express through me today?" Let the vision arise. Do not force it. It may come as a thought, a feeling, a picture, or a quiet knowing. Believe, affirm that what you have conceived already exists in the unseen. Speak it aloud as though it were finished. This idea is now manifest through the power of God within me. Receive, act as if it were true. Move, speak, and live in the consciousness that the thing desired is now real. You are not trying to convince the universe. You are aligning with it. The moment your inner state matches the vibration of your desire, manifestation begins. Understand this well. The universe is not outside you. It is within you. You do not send thoughts into space. You expand your awareness until it includes the reality you seek. The outer world is but the reflection of your inner conviction. Now, let us take an example. Suppose your vision is to create abundance, not for vanity, but to serve life more fully. You conceive the image of prosperity, not as distant hope, but as present reality. You believe that infinite intelligence provides all channels necessary for its expression. Then you act with faith, doing what is before you, with excellence, gratitude, and expectancy. Gradually, you will find new opportunities appearing, new ideas flowing, new people drawn into your orbit. This is no miracle. It is the natural outworking of law. You have tuned your consciousness to abundance, and the universe echoes your vibration. This is why gratitude is the golden key of co-creation. Gratitude declares, "It is done." When you give thanks for your desire before it appears, you affirm that the invisible is already real. The thankful heart magnetizes supply. The complaining heart repels it. But let me warn you of a subtle trap. Never use divine power for selfish ends. The moment your motive departs from harmony with the greater good, you cut yourself off from the source. The infinite creates through love, not through greed. Therefore, before you claim any vision, ask yourself, does this serve the growth of all? Does it express the highest in me? If it does, proceed with faith. If it does not, release it and seek a higher aim. True co-creation is not domination of matter. It is cooperation with spirit. You do not command God as a servant. You invite him as a partner. Your will and his become one when your purpose aligns with the unfolding good of all life. In that unity, creation becomes effortless. When you live in this consciousness, your very presence becomes creative. People feel uplifted by your calm certainty. Circumstances rearrange themselves in your favor, not because you demand it, but because your vibration of harmony attracts its own likeness. You begin to move through the world as a living prayer, silent, radiant, effective. Remember this eternal principle. You can only receive on the level of consciousness you occupy. To create higher realities, you must become higher within yourself. If you wish to manifest beauty, think beautifully. If you wish to attract love, radiate love. If you wish to demonstrate abundance, act with generosity. You cannot harvest corn from seeds of thorns. The great secret of co-creation is therefore simple yet profound. Be the thing you wish to create. If you wish for peace, be peace. If you wish for strength, stand strong. If you wish for joy, express joy now. The universe mirrors your state, not your words. Let these words be your daily meditation. I am one with the mind that created all things. Through faith and imagination, I give form to its ideas. I create in harmony with divine law, and every good thing flows to me and through me for the blessing of all. Hold this truth until it becomes the rhythm of your breathing. Then you will find that life no longer happens to you. It happens through you. My beloved friend, the time has come for man to cease living as a creature of reaction and rise as a creator of purpose. The time has come to stop asking, "What will God give me?" and to start declaring, "What will God express through me?" For the world awaits not another doctrine or leader. It awaits awakened souls who know their divine partnership and dare to act from it. And when enough of these souls stand firm in that awareness, the old age of fear and limitation shall dissolve, and a new world will emerge, one built not by struggle, but by spiritual cooperation between God and man. In our next part, I shall unveil the crowning realization of this journey, the union of will and love, where creation transcends even purpose and becomes pure expression. Life lived as God intended, effortlessly radiant, infinitely free. Until then, remember, you are not merely a child of God. You are the living extension of His creative thought. Speak your vision as truth. Act as though heaven moves with you, because it does. And never forget, the power that created the universe now waits upon your command. My friend, we have climbed far upon the mountain of understanding. We began by awakening to the divine presence within, then we learned discipline, transmutation, and co-creation. Now, we arrive at the summit, the radiant height where will and love merge into one, and man becomes not merely a creator, but a living instrument of the infinite. In this sacred union, all struggle ends. You no longer seek to command the power, you become the power. You no longer plead for direction, you are the direction. For when human will is purified by divine love, it ceases to be a force of separation and becomes the very flow of creation itself. Understand this well. Will without love is domination. Love without will is sentiment. Only their union produces divine expression. The Creator moves through you when your will acts as the channel and your love as the motive. One provides form, the other spirit. One shapes, the other animates. Together, they make you whole. Many have spoken of surrender as if it meant weakness, but true surrender is strength. It is the voluntary alignment of your personal will with the will of God. It is not submission, it is synchronization. It is the moment when the drop consents to move as the ocean. When you say, "Not my will, but thine be done," you are not renouncing power. You are claiming infinite power under divine guidance. In that surrender, all conflict within you ceases. Your thoughts, once divided between faith and fear, become single. Your actions, once driven by desire and doubt, flow effortlessly from inner certainty. You begin to feel that everything you do, every word you speak, is guided by a wisdom beyond intellect, yet more intimate than breath. This is the state of divine instrumentality. It cannot be forced, it must be allowed. The mind must grow quiet enough, the heart pure enough, for the presence to take command. Then your will acts as its executor, your emotions as its fire, your body as its temple. You live as God would live in form, calm, purposeful, radiant with love. How shall we attain this union of will and love? The process is simple, though it demands sincerity. First, purify the motive. Ask yourself in all things, am I acting from love or from fear? If fear is the motive, you are still bound to the lower self. But if love moves you to bless, to create, to uplift, then you are already in harmony with the divine. Love is the magnetic field of spirit. It draws all things into right order. Second, align the will. Each morning, declare with conviction, "Infinite intelligence, express through me today. Direct my thoughts, my words, my actions. Let thy will be done in me and through me, that I may be an instrument of thy love." Say it not as a prayer of dependence, but as a statement of partnership. Feel the power of God's will rising through you like a current of golden light. See it flowing into your mind, guiding your hands, filling your heart with calm authority. Third, act from love consciously. Do not wait for grand missions. Express divine love in every simple act. Greet the stranger with sincerity. Speak gently where others would judge. Forgive where others would retaliate. Give without seeking credit. Each act of love expands the channel through which the infinite flows. You will find, as you live thus, that you begin to sense an unseen harmony directing your life. The right people appear at the right time. Difficulties resolve themselves with graceful precision. The invisible order of things becomes visible. You realize that you are no longer making life happen. Life is happening through you. When the will acts without love, it creates tension. When love acts without will, it remains a dream. But when will and love merge, life becomes effortless power, a river flowing toward its purpose without resistance. And what, you may ask, does it mean to live as a divine instrument? It means to live without separation, to see God in every face, to hear His whisper in every event, to feel His heartbeat in every moment of joy or pain. You no longer divide life into sacred and secular. All becomes holy. Work becomes prayer. Speech becomes blessing. Relationship becomes communion. This is not an abstraction. It is a living state of consciousness. The saints, the sages, the true masters, all lived in this awareness. They acted with human hands, yet it was the infinite that worked through them. You too are destined for this realization, for the presence within you seeks not to be admired, but to be expressed. When you reach this point, you will find that desire itself transforms. You no longer crave things. You become the fulfillment of every desire. You no longer chase success. You radiate it. You no longer seek love. You are love in action. This is the freedom of divine union. And yet, this union is not the end of your growth. It is the beginning of eternal expansion. For the infinite within you is ever creating, ever becoming. The more you yield to it, the greater your expression of it. The musician who lets God play through him finds music beyond his own skill. The teacher who lets God speak through him enlightens hearts beyond his own understanding. The leader who lets God act through him builds not empires, but uplifted souls. The greatest mark of one who lives in this state is serenity. Outer conditions may change, storms may rage, but within, peace remains. For the will is anchored in the eternal, and love flows unbroken. If ever you lose this peace, pause and remember. You are not the doer. You are the channel. Cease striving, return inward. Feel again the pulse of that infinite current that moves through you. Let go of the outcome and reaffirm your purpose, to express divine love through divine will. Immediately the storm within will quiet and harmony will return. The final secret, dear friend, is this. The divine presence cannot act through a mind cluttered by self. Therefore, your greatest practice is not effort, but emptiness. Make your mind clear, your heart open, your will surrendered. Then, like a clean lens, you will reflect the light without distortion. When you live as a divine instrument, your life becomes music, an endless hymn of gratitude and creation. Each day is a note, each deed a tone, blending into the great symphony of spirit unfolding through you. And when your time in this form is complete, you will not depart from God. You will dissolve back into the infinite music from which you came. Let this be your daily remembrance. I am one with the source of all. My will is the channel of its wisdom. My heart is the vessel of its love. Through me, the infinite lives, moves, and creates. Repeat it until you feel it, until every breath affirms it, until your very presence radiates it. For this is the destiny of man, not to worship the power afar, but to embody it here and now. You are not merely a reflection of the divine, you are its expression. And so, my beloved friend, let your will move with love, your love act with will, and your life become the living proof that God's power is already inside you. In the next and final part, I shall speak of the eternal continuum of creation, how this divine awareness transcends time and death, and how the awakened soul becomes immortal through contribution, consciousness, and union with infinite life.